Alright, so the project for today is, if I can just get a view. So this is the front tank on this old Ford F-150 5.8 liter. I believe this is a 19 gallon. I have the other one. So you have a plastic strap right here, at least mine does. I think this is like a safety hold or something. You got another bolt right here and that one over there, and I'm gonna put some stands underneath here, so because I don't really have any way to suction this thing out, so there's probably a little bit of gas. I've been trying to run it dry or run it out a little bit, but there should be some gas inside here, and I'm just gonna be dropping this thing to replace it from the old one, because this one is sat out in a field for 10 years, and so there's just all sorts of gunk, and I can see it inside my fuel filter since it's see-through, everything that's going through it. So I'm gonna focus on replacing this, and then a new tank cost about $80, and I think to buy all the materials to do this properly would have cost about $60, so I just decided to get a new tank. So we'll go and get started in this. Alright, so I have my jack stands all at work, and I got my two brackets removed, and so what I'm going to do now is just slowly lower this down. There's some connections up top. I have to undo those, and then I should be able to change them out. Alright, so that right there was just a simple plastic clip, and what you need to do is just, it has a clip that inserts down, you pull it up on the top and then you pull it out. That one right there, this electrical connection right here, just simply, man, I can't reach, here it is, this just pops up. So it had a clip that was hanging over and I accidentally broke it, but you should just be able to do that clip and pop it up, and it comes right just up and off of that right there. So, and then on the back side down here, I don't know if you can see it right there, we're just gonna have to pull that off too, and it should just come right out. Okay, so what you do here is, so on this is the fuel tank as a whole, and you're gonna drop it, and when you drop it you're gonna detach the rubber hose on it, and you'll still have this sticking out that you need to replace or stick back in your old one. That's what I'm planning on doing. I'm trying to see what I can salvage here. So this right here, the snap ring, really what you do is, this was pretty wedged in there, but you just want to tap on these sides right here and here, and you want to go counterclockwise all the way around it, and when you do, you'll just kind of be hitting these edges, go counterclockwise, and then eventually it'll pop out. But you just want to work your way around the circle, especially on these old rusty ones, it'll just do that, and then it'll eventually pop off. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take out this old one, and I'm gonna try hooking it up to the old electrical, and because my fuel gauge isn't working, I'm wanting to make sure that this is what the problem is, the reason why the fuel gauge is not working. I'm replacing the tank anyways. It sat out in a field for 10 years and there's just lots of junky gas is getting into it, and it was going to cost $60 worth of resources to repair it, $80 for the tank. Shipping made it cost more, but I just decided to spend the extra money and get a whole new tank. But this part also probably costs around as much as the tank does, so I want to take this out and hook it up and make sure that see if it works. Since the gas gauge wasn't working, I'm going to be probably lifting and lowering the float on it and seeing if that's able to mess with the gas gauge. If it does, if when I'm holding it up, if the gas gauge goes up, and then if I pull it down and the gas gauge going down, as long as it's working effectively as it should be, then I know that this probably just got rusted and stuck, If not, if it goes up and the gas gauge doesn't work that way, well then I know that there's maybe an electrical problem and it's not this hooking up to the gas gauge. So we'll just see. Okay, so my other pump was completely kind of gone. I'll show you here in a little bit, but this is the new one. And so I wanted to make sure I have the rope hook up to a float, and the rope is kind of coming up over this, then up right here. And what I'm going to just simply do is pull on this rope inside the cab, and I can see whether or not the fuel gauge is coming up and down, to make sure that the float was the actual problem, and not the electrical in anywhere going to the float. So I just want to make sure that before I install it completely, so that way when I know I got the install, if it isn't working, that was the primary reason, is just because the float isn't going. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to test that float, make sure the float is what the problem and the reason why the gas gauge doesn't work. So if you notice, I pulled on the float and sure enough it went up, so it looks like the float was what the problem was. Okay, so I put on this ring. You want to put on your rubber ring before you put your sending unit in. And on this, I just put some high tack just to keep it stationary right around this inner ring area. That probably doesn't matter. It's going to settle in there pretty hard. But that's just what I did. I just put a dab on each corner and put it inside there. And then on this, when you install this, you'll see on it there is these two tabs right there. They're going to fit inside that tab and that tab right there. And you're going to slide it down in, and it's going to be facing away, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so you're going to put on this ring. This is an additional one that came, but you'll put on this ring, and you're just going to be tapping these ends right up here all the way around. And you want just something soft that you can just be tapping this. So you'll have like a rod and then a hammer on the other side, like a brass rod, and just tap this, and this will just slowly work. Just keep on working around until eventually you get these tabs right here. You want those just to line up and hit right there, and then it's in there. So now we just need to put this thing up and we should be good to go. Also, don't forget to hook up your filler hose. This is my old one is just kind of looking pretty bad. There were some cracks and things, so I was just replacing it. Just got this one from O'Reilly's, yeah, hopefully it works all right. The problem is it's probably about a ½ inch shorter than that one, so I hope it fits our lip just fine. But some people have been having troubles on the internet with these, but hopefully this works. Alright, so before you push this on, you can't push over the tab, this tab right here. You can't push over that tab when you've already inserted it. You have to push in that tab, and then you need to push it over. Otherwise, you're going to break that tab. Right there on the emissions, you can take out that top part. So the top half you want to take out, take the rubber grommet, shove it inside the hole, expand the rubber grommet, and then shove that part inside. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of trouble trying to push that rubber grommet inside. So now all I need to do is get that hooked up there, and then hook up the electrical and get these straps back up. So it's coming right along. Okay, so the new filler hose was 2 inches too short, so don't get yours from O'Reilly's. There's one online that you can get, and I can't remember which one it was, but it's the correct length. Everyone said not to get the other one, and I did, just to say I try, and sure enough that it's short, so I put back on the old one, which obviously needs a lot, needs a new one. So this is the old tank right here, and it's up. Make sure that up here, if I can get it, you get all your wiring and all of that stuff done. And then over here, make sure, I can't get it, but make sure you get your filler hose hooked up right. So thanks for watching.